The season is finally here, and welcome to Giants Hangouts. It's week one Hangouts presented by Crestron. My name is Madelyn Burke, joined as always by Brandon London, Russ Salzberg, and Matt Citak. Guys, got a lot of excitement on the docket. The Giants play an NFL game on Sunday afternoon, heading to Washington to face the Commanders. But before we get into the week one specifics, let's look at the season as a whole that lies in front of us. The 2025 season is a blank canvas. So I want to start with some season predictions. Let's get a little over-under action going, starting with Malik Nabers. Brandon, I'm going to go to you first on this one. Malik Nabers, over or under 1,300 receiving yards. And for context, last year he had 1,204.
I'm gonna have to go under on this one, and it's not because I think that this kid's not going to be a dog and have a heck of a season. I just feel as though that now that the Giants have some consistency in quarterback play, the ball is going to be distributed to other guys. So I feel like although Malik's numbers may go down, you might see a rise in the numbers in the Wan'Dale Robinsons, Darius Slaytons, and Theo Johnsons as well.
Russ?
I concur with Brandon. I was going to say the exact same thing. While I think Malik is going to have himself a very good year, I do think the number very well could be lower than it was last year, simply because other guys are going to get involved, not just the Wan'Dale Robinsons, let's say, or the Darius Slaytons, but Theo Johnson. I think we're going to see some action, a lot of production out of our
out of the tight end. Yeah, we'll be spreading it around.
Group. So I believe it's under for Malik.
All right, Citak, what do you think?
I guess I'll be the contrarian here. I'm going to go over simply because you look at his numbers last year. Malik had 170 targets, 170. That was top 5 in the NFL. If some of those passes this year are just more catchable balls, he's going to clear 1,300 with no issues whatsoever. So I'm going over for Malik.
I think it's also interesting to remember that Malik only played in 15 games last season. So 1,200 plus yards in 15 games. I'm going to hit the over as well. I'm with you on that, Matt. Plus, he had 4 different quarterbacks throwing him the ball last season. This year, I think the consistency is going to be great for his numbers. All right, next one, we're going to Abdul Carter, the rookie. We know he has come out and said he doesn't want to cut his hair until he gets his first sack. Over or under 7.5 sacks from Abdul Carter. Quickly, Russ.
You know what? I'm going to go with the over, but I just think he's going to be he might very well be the defensive rookie of the year. I just think he's going to be a dominant player. He's going to be an impact player from game one, which is this week in Washington. If he gets the over, fine. If not, he's still going to have a stellar season, but I'm going to go over.
Matt?
I'm going to go over as well. I think if he hits 8 sacks, I think he would tie the rookie Giants record for sacks in a season. But just based on what we saw in training camp, the guy is so explosive. I don't think it's going to be long before he's hitting double-digit sacks on a yearly basis. So 7.5 over.
Brandon?
I gotta go under on this one. When I was a kid, my dad used to always tell me, I'm like Missouri, the show me state. And until the Giants show that they can stop the run, I think those sack numbers are going to be down for a lot of those guys. So I'm going to have to go under, but with an if on a clause on it in that case. But I mean, from everything we've seen from this kid's going to be anything and more. I'm talking Myles Garrett, TJ Watt type production in his career. But at the end of the day, like Brian Burns used to say last year a lot, Russ, you got to earn the right to rush. And if these guys want to get those sacks, they got to stop the run on first and second downs to get these offenses with some third and longs.
Got to get him in it. And the show me is the stat right there, too. I think I'm going to go over because I feel like he has shown that he is determined and he is focused and he is locked in. So I think over. I believe in him. But another guy we're looking at sack numbers for, Dexter Lawrence. Sexy Dexy. Last season, he had 9 sacks, but only played 12 games. So over under 9.5 from the nose tackle, Sexy Dexy, Matt?
I'm going to have to go under here. And it's nothing against Dexter Lawrence. He's obviously phenomenal, but he's already shown the NFL that he is one of the best players in the entire league. I think he's going to get double teamed even more than he did last year, which he was double teamed last year at a historic rate. Yep. I think he's going to see even more double teams this year. His sack numbers might go down, but I think that's just going to lead to more sacks for the edge rushers.
Russ?
I agree. I think his numbers are going to go down. And again, that's by no means a knock at Dexter. I just think, listen, with Carter and Thibodeau and Burns, someone's going to be getting the sacks. And I think Dex has to stop him up front, in the middle, on the run. So I like that number to be under. I don't like it to be under, but I think it will be under.
A lot of mouths to feed. Brandon, does Dex go over or under 9.5 sacks?
I mean, there's a lot of mouths to feed, but he is the mouth to feed at 340 pounds plus. I think it's going to go over on this one because
Wow.
of the guys that we're talking about that can be coming off of the edge. Matt, I know he was double team at such an historic rate, but how are you going to be able to double team him when you're going to leave those tackles on an island all by themselves? You're going to see teams try and chip a lot, but when you try and chip, that means you're keeping 1 to 2 guys in, and as opposed to trying to get guys out in the pass concepts when it comes to the routes. Teams are going to try and do that early, but they're going to realize they're losing guys and not being able to push the ball down the field. So I think he doesn't get double teamed as much as he was last year. And for that, I think he's going to have these centers and these guards on skates, push them in the backfield. And then you know what he does after that. Do that dance, big boy. Do that dance.
But again, last year he had 9 sacks and missed several
Yeah.
games. So 9.5, if he's healthy, not outside of the question, I'm taking the over. Now let's talk offensive side of the ball. Russell Wilson, over under 20 touchdown passes. Last year he had 16 touchdown passes, again with the Steelers, and again only played 11 games. Russ, over under 20 for Russ.
Well, if he plays the full season, as you say, because we don't know the number of games, but if he's healthy and plays the full season, I'm going over 20.
All right, Matt.
I just think I'm a believer in Russell Wilson. We've been there, we've spoken about it, Madeline, we've spoken about it, Brandon. I just think that this team is a different team than it's been in past years. There's a chemistry and a belief, and I really believe Wilson. He's a leader that I've never got to know in person. I think he's going to have a big impact on that offense.
Yeah, I'm going to go over as well. I mean, Madeline, you mentioned he had 16 touchdown passes in just 11 games for the Steelers last year. The Steelers were one of the most run-heavy teams in the NFL. They had an offensive play caller who all he wanted to do was run the ball. Russell Wilson wasn't even really given the freedom to, be fully unleashed. I think Brian Dable is going to give him a little bit more of that freedom. Even if he doesn't, start 17 games, I still think he's going to top that 20 touchdown mark.
Brandon?
I'm with you guys. I'm going to go on the over on this one because I'm not going to put a limit on a guy that's nicknamed Mr. Unlimited.
Unlimited.
Unlimited. Especially when he talks about wanting to feed Malik Neighbors. So although I think Malik Neighbors' receiving yards will go down, I think the touchdowns will go up because he's going to find a way to be efficient in the red zone and get those targets to the Theo Johnson and those guys. But I feel as though he is going to push Malik numbers, the get him the football in the red zone, and those numbers are going to go up. I'm pushing like 20, 25 to 30 range for Russ. Easy.
I'm with you. I'm with you on the over for Russell Wilson because, again, last year, 16 touchdowns in 11 games. For a Steelers offense, it's really reliant on the run.
Yes.
And we know how much Brian Dable and Mike Kafka like to air it out. I don't think they're going to hesitate to let him send it down the field. So it's a matter of, do they get in the end zone? Do they have those opportunities? And also, how many games does Russ play, whether it's health or any other factor? But I think all things considered, I'm going to hit the over on Russell Wilson. 20 touchdown passes. Yeah, it seems like a good number. Finally, defense, right? Takeaways. Takeaways has been a point of emphasis. We've seen the turnover chest out there at practice. So Citak, over or under 19 takeaways for this Giants defense? And as a barometer here, last season they had 15.
Yeah, I'm going to definitely go with the over there. Shane Bowen brought out the takeaway chest. All offseason, we've been hearing guys from the defense talk about how, be a damn pirate. And I think we're going to see a lot of those guys be pirates this season. I mean, Javon Holland and Paulson Adebo, they're known for takeaways. So I think those two are going to be big additions to the secondary and help significantly with that takeaway number.
Russ?
Yeah, I have to go with the over. Listen, you got Abdul Carter. Okay. We're going to have, I think, a lot of fumble recoveries, much more than we've had in the past. And I think the secondary's improved with Holland, with Adebo. The number has to be, if we were 15 last year, I mean, it's got to be, what'd you say? The number for us over 19? I believe,
19 over under.
I believe it's got to be over. Has to be over.
Brandon?
Yeah, I'm with Russ on this one. It has to
Has
be
to be.
on the over if this team is going to be successful and if they're going to be competitive. I love the turnover chess. It's just, but I think of it as still a show me type business. I love the Mets, which I love when Grimace was out and the OMG song, but those were just gimmicks. They had to get it done at the at bats, and that's what this defense is going to have to do. Again, stop the run, get them in third and long situations, and that back end that's been upgraded with Javon Holland and Paulson Adebo. I feel as though they'll have a lot more interceptions in the secondary than what they had last year. So it's a over, but it's because it has to be over.
Has to be over, but as we mentioned too last year, I mean, the Giants were among the bottom tier of the league in terms of takeaways. And if you don't have the ball, you can't score with the ball. And the possession is what 9/10 of the law out here. I do like that Shane Bowen has said, hey, you get what you focus on. And with that turnover chest and that pirate mentality, are you ready to see some more turnovers? I think so. I'm going to take the over. We got a lot of excitement around this season. So I want to talk about overall season predictions, starting with a breakout player for the season. Who in your mind is going to make the biggest jump from 2024 to 2025 on this New York Giants roster? Brandon, I'll start with you.
I'm gonna go with Theo Johnson. I just feel as though last year he started to come on at the right time and then he got injured. He's been healthy all throughout training camp. You've seen the chemistry that he and Russ has been able to develop. And just talking to him, you can see that he's excited about the plays or the opportunities that Brian Dable is going to have for him this year. So I'm excited, and I think that Theo is really going to push and really have a big year this year.
Russ?
Brandon keeps taking words out of my mouth. I mean, I'm really excited about Theo. One of my comments earlier was what the production we're going to get out of the tight end group. Theo Johnson, he leads that group. I'm just going to throw in one other name, and I don't even know how much he's going to play, but I do believe the rookie out of the fourth round, Cam Scatterbo, is going to have a big, big impact on this team. Big
Cam
impact.
Scatterboo, the Sun Devil. Let's go.
I really
Matt?
do. I think he's that kind of guy.
Yeah.
So originally I was going to go with Theo as well, but we can't all go with the same guy. So I'm going to throw another name out there, and you know, it might be an interesting name as a breakout player, but I'm going with Brian Burns. And obviously he's already proven that he is a fantastic edge rusher, but I think he's going to take his game to another level this year. I think he's going to be an all-pro outside linebacker, something he has not done, at least last year with the Giants, but he had 8.5 sacks last year, playing through injuries the entire season. Dexter Lawrence missed time. Kayvon Thibodeau missed time. Now all those guys, at least right now, are healthy. I think Brian Burns is going to show that he is that all-pro edge rusher that the Giants traded for last year.
I like it. I like it. My player that I'm watching is Tyrone Tracy. And some people might say, what are you talking about? He had over 1,000 yards from scrimmage in his rookie season last year. How could he get much better? Yes, he did, but also he struggled a little bit with the holding on to the ball. He had a little case of the fumbles every once in a while. So I think he's going to clean his game up, and it's only going to get better for Tyrone Tracy. And if you want some action on the field, you better call Tyrone. Put up that Erykah Badu. Sing it. All right, next topic here is the most underrated position group going into the season. Listen, we've heard a lot of conversation, especially on the national level and in the micro level here, about certain position groups. A lot of people talking about that quarterback room, a lot of people talking about the defense. But I want to know what position group you think is being slept on. Citak, I'm going to start with you in this one.
Yeah, so for me, I'm going to go with the Giants linebackers. You know, we've heard so much for months now about the defense, but all the talk has been about the guys up front, the pass rush, and then the secondary with the new additions. And I feel like Bobby Okereke and Micah McFadden have been just completely slept on. Bobby Okereke was fantastic in his first season with the Giants back in 2023. Last year, you know, took a little bit of a step back, but I think now going into year 2 of Shane Bowen's defense, both those guys are going to develop into just the absolute anchors of the middle of the defense. I think those two are being completely overlooked.
Russ?
This is a tough one. I agree with Matt on that. I might have said the linebackers right away, but I'll do something else. I'm going to say the O line. We hear all the talk. If Andrew Thomas can't make it, or if it takes time, the O line is in trouble. It's a domino effect. You know, one falls after the other. Are they going to stay healthy? I believe, from what I've seen thus far in camp and preseason, the O line has looked pretty good. They haven't looked flawed as they've looked in the past. I do believe they're taken for granted. I think they're going to be much better. I'm not going to say they're a Pro Bowl line, but I do believe they're going to be much better than people think they'll be. So I'm going to say the offensive line.
All right, Brandon, from your new location, who's your group that slept on?
Three different locations on the day, but you got to
On
be
the
able
move
to.
like the lease is up over there.
Hey, you got to be on the road. You know, Giants go on the road. I had to go on the road for this one. But I think it's going to be. Matt, I loved the pick with the linebackers, but I think it's going to be the safeties, the safety position group. Now, I understand they added Javon Holland, and you know what type of quality player that you have there. But I think not enough people are talking about the anticipated second year jump. I feel like Tyler Nubin is going to have this year. Had I known you guys were going to pick Theo Johnson as your breakout player, then I would have went to Newbie. But remember, the Giants drafted him in the second round out of Minnesota because he was a ball hawk. He went and took the football away. He didn't have any turnovers last year when it came to like interceptions. But I feel you talk to a Javon Holland and the rest of the secondary. Everyone continues to talk about Noob gets it. Noob has got it. And Noob, all he has to do is apply what he's learned and the confidence that he has going into his second season. I think Tyler Nubin is going to have a breakout season for sure. So this Giants secondary group is going to be a great group for this team this season coming up.
I agree with you. They're not just the safeties, but the corners as well, because you've got Javon Holland, the addition there at safety. And I know Nubin's talked about how the two of them have a relationship like brothers already in such a short period of time. Plus the competition that we saw all offseason at that second cornerback spot has really helped elevate the play of both Cordale Flott and Deontay Banks. I think there's a lot of elevated play. Also, just honorable mention throwing the running backs. You know, you got to get that run game to be a consistent success. And I think that they have just added talent with that Sun Devil of Cam Scattaboo in there. Of course, I got to shout out ASU every opportunity I get. But I think it's going to be an exciting group to watch this season going forward. All right, quickly now, bold prediction for the 2025 New York Football Giants. Give me one sentence of what your bold prediction is, Brandon.
Bold prediction is they shock the world. You know, they have consistency at the quarterback position, so that's going to upgrade this team tremendously when it comes to not being a 3-13 team. So I think that this team is out for blood and they're going to shock the world.
Brandon's prediction that is bold is that the Giants are not 3-13. All right, Russ, what is your prediction? That's bold.
My prediction is this. Something that hasn't been the case for a while. The Giants are going to be playing meaningful games right until the last game of the season. Right until the last game of the season. So if I got to give you a number, I'm going to say 9-8.
Okay.
But I just think they're going to be playing meaningful games right till the end of the season. And like when Brandon says shock the world, I wouldn't be surprised if that happens. I think this is a good football team. The only reason I'm holding my breath, because we've learned about it too many times these past few seasons, you keep your fingers crossed regarding the injuries, because there's you can't do anything about that. That's just something that we have to deal with. But I think we've got some depth now. We're safe at the quarterback position. So 9-8, and I'll agree with Brandon, shocking the world.
9-8. Hey, the vibes are strong. Citak, what's your bold prediction for the 2025 Giants?
Yeah, I don't know exactly how bold this is, but I'm going to go with Malik Neighbors wins Offensive Player of the Year. I think he was phenomenal as a rookie last year, as we all know, and he did that with, let's just call it, not the most consistent quarterback play. Now with Russell Wilson under center, that they're just going to get such elevated play from the quarterback position. I think the sky is the limit for Malik Neighbors. Russ has been raving about him since the second he stepped inside this building. I think we're going to see a year two breakout, which is really saying something considering he broke out as a rookie last year.
I like it. I'm here for it. My bold prediction, the New York Football Giants are going to the playoffs. That is my bold prediction for 2025. And why, you may ask, that's kind of out of a hat. Well, the preseason, which a lot of people say doesn't really mean a whole lot. The Giants had a plus 60 point differential, and six of the last seven teams, they're just the eighth team to do that since 2009. Six of the last seven teams to have a point differential that large in the preseason have gone on to go to the playoffs. Two of those teams went to the Super Bowl. So anything is possible. Anything is possible. Things are working. The machine is going. If everyone can stay healthy, I think the course is set to great things. Shock the world, I think, is the consistent theme for all of us here, though, for the bold prediction. Now, it starts with week one, and the Giants are headed to the nation's capital to play the Commanders. Giants Commanders has always been a very closely contested battle. Last season, I think we remember the most memorable game was when Graham Gano goes down the first play of the game. The Giants don't have a kicker. The Commanders beat the Giants solely on field goals, just showing off that they do have a kicker. But when we're looking at week one and we're looking at this game overall, Citak, what storyline and what narrative are you focused on for week one?
For me, the biggest thing I'm going to be focusing on is the Giants pass rush versus the Commanders offensive line, because obviously, we've spoken so much and heard so much about the edge rushers and the defensive line with Dex, Burns, Kayvon, Abdul Carter. Well, the Commanders went out and upgraded both offensive tackle positions. They traded for Laramie Tunsil, who's one of the best tackles in the league. They drafted Josh Connerly in the first round. Those are their two starting tackles. So the Giants edge rushers, they're going to have a very tough matchup in this week one game. And obviously, Jaden Daniels provides his own, tough matchup with the ability to run. So I'm interested to see how this defensive front matches up against this Commanders O-line and the dual threat ability of Jaden Daniels.
Well, and Russ, when you look at this matchup, this is, Russell Wilson's first start as a Giants quarterback. What are you expecting from him in this one?
I think Russell Wilson is going to get out there with the enthusiasm of a rookie. And I mean that as a guy who can't wait to play. This is a new team for him. This is a new season. And I'll tell you what, I believe I'm going to go in line kind of like what Matt said before. He's calling for Malik to be the offensive player of the year. Well, I think he starts to show that in week one. And I think he's going to be on the receiving end of the guy we were just talking about, Russell Wilson. I just think that this Giant team is ready to rock and roll. What we hear all off season. Oh my goodness gracious. This is a killer killer schedule. They'll be lucky if they can win out of the first four games. Well, I don't buy that at all. I think they're going to be very solid coming out of the gate. And I think it starts on the road and it gets followed on the road next week in the week after in Dallas.
Any game is winnable. That's why you play the game, right? Brandon, when you're looking at this one, Giants Commanders, obviously it's a division game, so it's an important one to start the season. But, the Commanders, a lot of topics or storyline about this team in the offseason, about getting Terry McLaurin shored up, all that. They did clean that up, but their offense does look different this year than it did last year. What are your expectations?
My expectation is that Kayvon Thibodeau is going to come out firing. You look at the success that he's had against the Commanders. You look at the offseason he's had, his social media. He was wrestling, and not even WWE type wrestling. I'm talking Kurt Angle, Olympic gold medal type wrestling in order to improve his game. So when you talk about that pass rush up against Jaden Daniels, I'm going to just take it back a little bit. And as a wide receiver, I can't believe I'm saying this. I am going to watch how these pass rushers, edge rushers, and defensive line try and stop the run. Jaden Daniels is so great with his arm and being a dual threat. But when you talked about last year, week two, Madelyn, that you did that game you mentioned, Brian Robinson, who's now with the 49ers, had 5 runs of over 10 plus yards. You're not going to be able to pass rush. You're not going to put yourself in position where we can really see what this shiny new toy that we got for Christmas looks like in these edge rushers as a whole. That NASCAR package is going to be in the garage if they can't stop the run. So I am really excited to see if the Giants defense, they're very sexy when it comes to the pass rush and the edge rushers. If they're going to get real nasty, take that nasty pill and stop the run and make Jaden Daniels throw the football.
All right, I'm here for it. Hey, listen, Giants Commanders week 1 must watch. Why? Because it's the first game of the season. It's the most important game because it's the next game. But it's also a game with a lot of history, a lot of narrative, a lot of storylines around it, and maybe a little bit of trivia. Russ, I know you got some trivia for us on this one. What's going on?
Yeah, this is for all of you guys. All right,
Mhm.
let's see. And no, put your phones down. We don't want anybody cheating now. Okay. I got 5 players. I want you to name 5 players that made Pro Bowls playing for the Giants that later went on to play for Washington. 5 players made Pro Bowls as Giants, later went on to play for Washington.
Carl Banks.
That's 1.
Jesse Armstead.
That's 2.
Antonio Pierce.
Nope.
Oh man, former Giants.
Do we get a position hint?
Um, all defense.
All 5 are defensive players.
All 5 are defensive players. You know what? Somebody just mentioned Antonio Pierce, but Antonio came after.
He was with Washington first,
Washington
then
first, and
Giants.
then
So, all right, that's an honorable mention on the list, but yeah.
I cannot.
Okay, so far you've named 2, Banks and Jesse. If you need any more time, I'll go take my car for a car wash and come back while you guys think about it. So, we don't have all day.
Need more hints here, Russ.
All right. One is an all-time great who played in the greatest game ever played in the 50s.
And a defensive player.
And there was a story, there was a show about him in 1960 called The Violent World of.
Man, I'm disappointed in us.
Very.
If Don Sperling is watching this show, I can just see the
Oh yeah, no,
you guys
he's
need to watch more Chronicles.
he's screaming. That guy is Sam Huff.
Oh, okay.
All right,
Okay.
Sam Huff.
Okay.
That guy is Sam Huff. Certainly.
All right, so far we've got Carl Banks, Jesse Armstead, Sam Huff.
Okay. The other guy, I'll give you another hint. He played on the first and second Super Bowl with Carl Banks, a defensive player.
80s.
Oh man, not Pepper.
80s, 90s.
Goodness, man.
I mean,
Who the corners at that?
not LT, not.
He's in the Giants Hall of Fame.
He's in the Giants Hall of Fame.
Oh man, my Giants card has been declined right now.
All right. Leonard Marshall.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Leonard Marshall. And last but not least, and actually when I was given this, we went over it with Pearson. It was initially 4 players, and honest to God, I'm laying in bed at 5:30 in the morning thinking about this. I says, wait a minute, we forgot this guy. So we verified it. Okay, one other guy, a defensive back.
Landon Collins.
Jason
Bingo!
Seagull.
Yeah.
You're right.
Landon
That should
Collins.
have been
Our
the
guy.
easiest one for us.
Landon Collins was our colleague. Brandon and I worked with him.
Yeah, I thought
just before Citak got here.
Right.
What was our colleague? Russ, you were all right. That's good. All right. So Carl Banks, Jesse Armstead, Sam Huff, Landon Collins. Who was the 5th?
Leonard Marshall.
Leonard Marshall. All right. The 5 players that were Pro Bowlers with the New York Giants that later went on to play with the Commanders. Love that for us. A lot of history, a lot of Venn diagram between these 2 teams. And all right, well, we got the football history out of the way. Now let's have a little fun with it because we're going to do some blind rankings of buildings and monuments in the nation's capital. Because I know the first thing that comes to mind when you think of Washington is all the statues and all the buildings. All right, so what we're going to do, blind rankings, for those of you that don't know how it works, I'm going to say a place, a statue, a building. You're going to give me a number 1 through 5. Where does it rank? Is it number 1, the best, number 5, the worst of this list, not knowing what other monuments or buildings are coming? Ready? All right, starting with the Capitol. 1 or 5?
Let's go 4.
Who said 4?
I said 4. I go 4 for me.
Brandon's got
perfect.
I
Capitals
have a
4.
feeling what's coming up.
I was gonna say 4 as well.
Yeah, me too. I'm going 4 also. 4's
Okay.
across the board.
So everyone has 4 across the board. All right. The Albert Einstein Memorial.
5.
5.
You're talking about that's ranked. The one would be the top rank, correct?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Albert, I don't hear too many people talking about the Albert Einstein Memorial.
I gotta go
Oh.
5 as well.
Washington Monument.
Number 1.
Citak's got it 1.
It's gotta be number 1.
I'm going to say 2.
I'll go 5 on this one. Like you just
Russ, you have it at 2?
2, yeah.
Okay.
5. I feel like it's one of the most significant monuments in our country.
Brandon's got Washington Monument as 5?
Yeah, like why would you not want to go see the Albert Einstein Museum?
Well, nobody's contesting your desire to see Albert Einstein, but like doesn't mean Washington Monument is 5.
But you can do more at the Albert Einstein Museum.
All right.
Oh, so now we're
fair.
getting into interactive stuff for crying. See, that's what happens when you have a young child. See, Brandon starts thinking differently. That's what the problem is.
That's true.
And
It's like, how
prices,
do I
Russ,
keep you
and
and
prices.
entertained?
Right.
Okay. The Smithsonian.
I'm gonna go 3.
3.
3.
3.
All right, 3's across the board. And now, by default, the Lincoln Memorial.
1. That's
Oh,
what I was waiting for.
2 for me, because that's all I have left, and I'm
you have
perfectly
left?
fine with that.
I have 1, but I wish I could swap my 2 and 1.
This is why it's blind rankings, Brandon. It's too late. It's too late.
Too late.
Listen, all of these are going to be great things to see. So if you're headed out to the game, cruise around the Capitol, go see the National Mall, see all of the buildings and monuments that Washington, D.C. has to offer. That's a wrap for our hangout. As much fun as this has been, we're going to do it again next week. We'll clean it up. We'll figure it out. Listen, we're not in mid-season form yet. This is week 1. We're still getting the kinks out. We're running the show a little bit differently this time, but it's a lot of fun. And Giants Commanders, leave us with a score prediction, anyone?
Yeah, I will. I'm going to say 31-20 Giants.
Ooh, keeping the 30-point streak alive. The Giants had over 30 points in each of their 3 preseason games. Russ has that rolling on. 31-20 New York Giants. We'll see how it goes. 1 p.m. Sunday at Washington. Giants Commanders. Make sure to check out post-game show. Make sure to check out the radio content. We've got all sorts of stuff going on Giants.com. But that's a wrap for week 1 Giants Hangouts presented by Crestron. For Brandon London, Russ Salzberg, and Matt Citak, I'm Madelyn Burke. We'll see you next time.